foul on Suns guard J.C. Sheldon, who poked Clark in the eye earlier in the game.
And the commentators are on the money.
For Indiana, Cunningham and Sheldon and Lindsey Allen were ejected from the game with 40 seconds left.
Corrupt WNBA referees break silence after ejecting Sophie Cunningham for protecting Caitlin Clark like it was some kind of crime. I swear the refs were just out there doing cardio while chaos unfolded, and when someone finally did their job for them, they hit her with a flagrant 2 like she stole their lunch.
J.C. Sheldon gets Caitlin Clark in the eye, then belly bumps Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark, who's been targeted nearly every game this season, took another hit early on when J.C. Sheldon poked her in the eye and then bumped her in the chest. Nothing, no flagrant, no warning, just another incident swept under the rug.
Marina Mabrey, as she's walking away, knocks her on her ass. And look, best possible response, just a picture of her shrugging her shoulders.
Then Marina Mabrey came through with the cheap shot of the night, blindsided Clark while she was on the ground. The refs gave her a single technical foul and kept it moving. It was sloppy, soft officiating that basically told the whole league, go ahead, take your shot. The league can't act shocked when chaos erupts if they're the ones handing out invitations.
JC comes towards, oh, who got Sophie in the neck? Did Lindsey Allen get Sophie in the neck? Someone got Sophie in the neck. Lindsey Allen gets her here.
By the time Sophie Cunningham stepped in, the referees had already lost control. She didn't just foul Sheldon, she made it loud. A full body check, followed by what looked like an MMA clinch around the neck. And let's be honest, it was less about basketball and more about sending a message. Sophie had clearly seen enough. She'd watched Caitlin get targeted all game with no real consequences, and when the referees refused to act, she did. But here's where it gets wild. Lindsey Allen jumped into the chaos and grabbed Sophie around the neck, clear as day on replay, and somehow stayed in the game like nothing happened. If that's not selective blindness, what is?
This would have been a flagrant 2, except for the fact that they allowed Marina Mabrey did what she did. This possibly should be a flagrant 2.
When it came time to hand out ejections, the inconsistencies hit a new level. J.C. Sheldon got tossed, but not for her cheap shot to the face or her shove to Clark's chest. No, she was given 2 technicals, the lightest possible ejection, like the refs were just trying to look busy. Sophie, on the other hand, got a straight-up flagrant 2. No gray area, no second thought. She was gone, and the refs made sure it looked official, but as she walked off the court, she was met with high fives from her teammates, cheers from the bench, and what looked like the only show of real leadership that night, not from the refs, from her. You can call it dirty play or you can call it doing the job the officials wouldn't.
The referees can't do it. And by the way, the commentators were on the money. The commentators literally said they're on the money.
Commentators were stunned, not just by the physicality, but by how predictable this all was. Everyone knew something like this was coming because this wasn't the first time Clark was targeted. And when you don't set a standard, things escalate. Simple. The refs had multiple chances to step in. They didn't. Instead, they let it build until it finally boiled over. And then they punished the one player who decided enough was enough.
She can take a 5-game suspension for the greater good of the team. Just like Charles Oakley could. Just like Bill Laimbeer could with Isaiah Thomas.
Sophie Cunningham didn't just step onto the court that night to play basketball. She showed up like she had a job to do, and it had nothing to do with scoring points. Her job was simple: protect Caitlin Clark. And she did it like she'd been waiting for the chance. The social media is already bragging about Sophie and appreciating her for protecting Caitlin. The moment J.C. Sheldon got physical with Clark, Sophie flipped the switch. Not with trash talk, not with a glare, but with a body check that looks straight out of an MMA highlight reel. And the most iconic part? That locker room shrug photo. Posted before the game was even over. No words, no regrets. Just a look that said, yeah, I did it. And what? She didn't need to talk because the entire league just heard her loud and clear. And folks, we love the act of Sophie Cunningham and pretty sure that you're also loving it. Want to stay updated on all the tea? Subscribe our channel now and stay on the top of all the WNBA drama.
At the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so.
Fans have been comparing her to the great NBA enforcers, Charles Oakley, Bill Laimbeer, even Draymond Green, all known for doing the dirty work to protect their stars. That's exactly what Sophie stepped into. She wasn't trying to be flashy. She was making it known. If you go after Clark, you deal with her. She later told reporters, "I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do." And honestly, she meant every word. Sophie looked ready to take the fine, eat the suspension, whatever it took. She saw how long this had been building, and she was done waiting on the refs to grow a backbone. The refs didn't just let this happen, they built the road to it.
Let's not forget, Caitlin Clark clawed, and then Marina Mabrey got away with doing this. That was only a single technical foul. That wasn't even a flagrant. Blindsided Caitlin Clark, not even watching, hitting her on the ground. The referee said that is a technical foul.
Let's go back. Marina Mabrey knocks Clark to the floor while walking away. She gets a technical. That's it. JC Sheldon pokes Clark in the eye and bumps her later. No flagrant, no warning, just more silence from the officials. And while all this was happening, Caitlin Clark kept getting hit, kept getting up, and the refs kept swallowing the whistle. So when Sophie finally snapped, it wasn't just her acting out, it was her reacting to months of the same treatment, ignored, dismissed, unchecked. When you don't enforce the rules, you force someone else to.
It's a Dublin Diarmuid Connolly incident. Basically, different sport, Gaelic football. There was a hothead who played for Dublin GA, one of the best players in the world at Gaelic football.
This is why analysts started calling it the Diarmuid Connolly effect. From Gaelic football, where players used to target a hothead star, bait him into reacting and get him tossed. Now the same thing is starting to happen with Clark. Hit her enough, get under her skin, wait for her to react, and the refs, they've proven they'll punish the retaliation instead of the provocation. That's how it starts, and that's how a league ends up pushing its biggest star toward a suspension, all while rewarding the ones doing the cheap shots. So don't ask why Sophie Cunningham snapped. Ask why she was the only one willing to say enough is enough.
She didn't say stars in the WNBA. She said the star of the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark isn't just a star. Sophie called her what she really is, the star of the WNBA. The entire league is cashing in on her name, her jersey sales, her TV ratings. But when it comes time to protect her on the court, everyone goes quiet. The referees disappear. The commissioner, Kathy Engelbert, disappears. And the ones who do stand up for her, like Sophie, are tossed from the game like they're a problem. It's not just bad optics, it's bad business. You don't build a league around a superstar and then leave her to get blindsided without consequence. So you can't protect your brand if you won't protect the face of it.
And it's wild that this league wanted to grow, but they want to grow within certain boundaries. And no, nobody's willing to go into anybody's boundaries.
The WNBA is out here chasing NFL-level money, but they're running it like a summer league. They want the media deals, the sold-out arenas, the viral moments, but they don't want to deal with the criticism, the controversies, or the reality that fans, real fans, say things that aren't always polite. You can't cash the checks Caitlin brings in and then turn your back when she's on the floor, getting shoved, elbowed, and baited into technicals. This isn't just about fouls. It's about who the league protects, who they punish, and whether they even have the guts to grow. If this is how they treat their biggest star, what does that say about the rest of the league?
Cunningham fully embraced her enforcer role for this team. That is a byproduct of the referees not having done their jobs.
Sophie Cunningham didn't say much. She didn't need to. Her message was loud enough without a press conference. If you're thinking about taking a cheap shot at Caitlin Clark, just know it's going to cost you. The days of fouling Clark and skipping away without consequences are over. The Fever now has an enforcer, and she's not the only one. Sophie may have been the first to step in, but she definitely won't be the last. This team isn't soft, and it's not going to sit back while their star gets poked, tripped, or blindsided. Now, every hard foul comes with a receipt. So yeah, Sophie got ejected, but honestly, she did what had to be done. What do you think? Was it worth it or way out of line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.